Okay, what are you saying, people, and welcome back to another live stream. Hope you're all doing well. Like always, guys, any pairs you're looking at, feel free to leave it down in the chat. We'll get to it. Any questions or any trades you're in or anything, let us know in the chat. We'll take a look together. Like always, if you do want to check out the Telegram channel, I do have a link to that in the description where I share my posts, setups, watch list for the week. So feel free to check that out if you want to. And if you are looking for a broker, I do have my affiliate link there to IC Markets. Feel free to check it out if you want to. But yeah, guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing good. Anus, good morning. And JPY short film, we'll get to that, no problemo. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. Currently still in gold, short on this one. Price is not moving too well. It is bouncing off some hourly support back down here, but the key thing is that we're still below that resistance. So I'm still looking for that momentum to come back in, and we're still seeing a strong dollar. We're still seeing a strong dollar, so I'm expecting that to kick in for gold, and obviously inversely correlated, so gold will go to the opposite direction. So I'm still short on gold, looking for this one to roll over. Didn't quite hit that first target, did hit that support just above, so May could have adjusted to that, but still looking for gold to roll over. I still think this can go a long way. Did take an L on Euro JPY. This one smashed straight through my stop loss. It was looking good when I woke up for this one. I woke up around just after like 6:30 or something like that. It was looking very good, looking promising, throwing some wicks to the downside, nice strong 4H candle close, and then suddenly the market just absolutely tanked to the downside on Euro JPY. Had a strong candle close there. I think this was like within like 5 minutes or something before that candle closed, and then a huge bearish candle there for Euro Yen, just taking it through all those wick lows there on that position. So yeah, took a loss on Euro Yen. Still do have the same buy, so I'm still looking for buy opportunities, but this one could come a little bit further to the downside to retest this daily structure here, which was the second area I was talking about yesterday. So potentially could see a bit more downside, but I'm gonna wait for some bullish structure to set up first. But yeah, huge move there. I think that was for most JPY pairs, but particularly Euro is very weak. Yeah, a lot of Euro pairs being requested. Eurocad, Eurocad. Morning, Jay. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Euro USD melted this morning, more downside today. Yeah, Euro USD took a big hit as well. Euro Yen as well, his partner in crime. Morning, Ross. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. Good morning, Watch. How are you doing? Euro ED, of course. Okay, I'll get someone to those requests. So I'll do NZJPY first, and I'll jump in some of the Euro pairs. Okay, so yeah, NZJPY still melted to the downside yesterday. Still a lot more downside. I was expecting this one to bounce coming into this region here yesterday. It kind of stalled and then it broke through anyway. So the market is still pretty bearish here in terms of the initial momentum, what we're seeing right now. Overall, it's still bullish market with the higher highs and the higher lows, but we are still seeing quite a lot of bearish momentum now. So with this one, I wouldn't really touch it because we've had this huge range here. For NZJPY, we broke that to the upside, but momentum has failed. You know, we saw a lot of bullish momentum taking out these highs. That's completely reversed on the pinhead really for NZJPY. Now we're smack bang in the middle of that range. So for me, there's nothing to do here. There's nothing to do. There might be some upside over the next couple of days, and there could be some nice sales to bring it back down again. After that, yeah, I wouldn't really do too much because in terms of direction, it's a little bit choppy now. I would expect to see some retracement to the upside. So like I said, maybe a day or two you can look to buy this one, especially from this 84,400 support. But I would expect us to find some resistance soon enough and work our way back down again. Maybe from this high here, that could be a nice place, or maybe even sooner, you know, coming into this area here as well. So yes, for NZJPY, expecting some retracement. A lot of the JPY pairs I'm expecting to retrace back up again. But particularly NZJPY could look to roll back over, maybe just see a swing back down to the lows of the range around 83,500. So yeah, with this one, be a little bit patient. I'm not seeing the cleanest setup really for this one. I personally wouldn't touch it. But if you are looking for a trade, I would favor some upside in terms of retracement, but I would expect us to probably roll back over again at probably 85,294 or 85,600. EuroCHF, sure thing, we'll take a look. Eurocad, of course. Euro USD, I'll get onto that one as well. Okay, so yeah, EuroCHF, still need to add that to my watch list, keep forgetting. Okay, so EuroCHF, wow, that one tanked like I don't know, but it tanked. So yeah, I was talking about one of those two levels yesterday. So I handed out that level and that level, potential areas we could obviously roll over. And this one did fall big time. Obviously, the euro weakness helped along the way over here. But EuroCHF did start to decline from that area that we were talking about. So if you weren't already in the trade there, could have jumped in or wait to see if we can retest it. But essentially from that level, it did hit a brick wall and dive. If not, I would expect it to roll over from that level up there. But of course, as you can see what it's done there. So with EuroCHF, it's obviously found support around this area and it's starting to struggle to break through. You can see it formed support once, big move to the upside, tested it again, stalled for a few days, and now it's starting to break through. So the market is still clearly bearish, but it's just this area here is providing some friction. So in terms of getting into the market, I wouldn't really sell at these prices and I wouldn't really buy either. It's kind of in no man's land for me for a little bit because it's still at these lows. It could still potentially break through them. Maybe go test 0.95. That's a nice little psychological level price could be attracted to. So I wouldn't really look to buy the pair yet. Not enough confluences for a buy. And like I said, I wouldn't sell the pair either because of the support and the fact that we're trading at those lows again. So if you're looking to get to trade EuroCHF and you weren't already in that one, I would say wait for a pullback, something into this area here, and maybe catch a nice little day trade like this and then sell it back down into those lows. So I wouldn't look for the buy, but the sell, yes, from that level, that would make sense. And then probably look to get out the trade fairly quickly at these lows here. You'd still probably sneak around 50 odd pips, maybe 40, 50 pips, depending, how big, how many pips you're looking for. But a test of 0.96129, shorts back down to those lows makes sense. Other than that, I would stay away from this one because it's at a very critical area where the price could do both things equally. So hopefully that made sense there for EuroCHF. Let me add that to my watch list right now so I don't forget. Okay, so we're going to take a look at Eurocad. Okay, so yeah, Eurocad, I'm still looking at selling this guy. It hasn't pushed into 1.34 yet, unfortunately. I was looking to see maybe yesterday with the back of some news could have pushed it higher. But it's still stuck around the 1.33 mark. It did break above it a little bit, but overall it's kind of stuck around that mark. And I'm still looking to see if we can get a retest of 1.32. So I'm not too bothered that price hasn't got to 1.34 yet. I still do think it can, but it might want to come back and retest this consolidation here first before it does fly up to 1.34. You can see we had a pretty clean breakout with no retest. We could look to revisit 1.32 first before we do dart off to 1.34. So there could be some buys here, obviously slightly more aggressive than the sells, obviously because of the higher time frame, but still pretty good setup. We've got consolidation here. Prices had a nice little fake out to the downside there. Now we're getting the retest of that and we can see some nice buys to the upside. So in terms of price action and structure, everything's looking good for those buys, but the real setup I'm waiting for is the sells up here. So I'm looking for Eurocad to probably come back down, retest 1.32, probably some nice buys around here, buy it back up to 1.34. If that's the case, we'll manage to trade. And then 1.34 as well, look for the bigger sell back down again, where potentially we could head back down to low. So yeah, for me, Eurocad is still in no man's land for me. 1.33, I know it's a nice area of resistance. Price is stalling there a little bit, but there's still nothing for me to do. I would wait for price either to come back to 1.32 and buy it back up, or go or push to 1.34 and sell it back down. Either which, I'm happy to get involved with. In this area is just a little bit of a no-no for me. So yeah, Eurocad, nothing there for me really. Setup could be coming maybe later this week, maybe even next week at this rate if price still consolidates, to be fair. But I do think a good setup's coming. It's just 1.3 still in no man's land for me. Euro USD. So yeah, Euro USD, we tanked big time. Again, overall, just staying, in favor with the trend. So, impulsive moves to the downside, it hasn't been a rarity for Euro USD over the past few months. And now we've got another one. Now we're coming back down to these lows where we could see some friction, maybe some slight upside coming to these areas. Again, this is no no place to sell. No place to sell. I know we've tanked to the downside. Maybe some people might be jumping into some sells now, trying to catch the rest of the move, maybe to take out these lows, which does make sense, but it's just in the wrong area to do so. You want price to retrace. And to be brutally honest, the price action here, Euro USD, is a complete mess, to be fair. You could be looking at a break and retest of this level here, but again, I wouldn't marry that trade for too long. Retest of that, push back down to the lows and be done with the trade, really, because at that point, Euro USD might want to see some more upside, come back to here, and come back down again, or mess around and consolidate for a longer period of time. So yeah, price action Euro USD is not that great. I was actually hoping to see a move to the upside and then I can short it back down, because I wasn't really a fan of that range there, but the market's already rolled over anyway. So yeah, if you're looking trading this one, I do think those lows are most likely going to go, but we might see some retracement to retest this first and then the sell-off. So if you're looking to trade this, that sell does make sense, but again, I wouldn't hold that trade for too long. Just not in the best market conditions, and also not in the best kind of area to really be looking to force trades to the downside. So yeah, Euro USD bearish bias, but nothing to do right now. Gaming channel Euro AUD, sure thing, no problem. We'll get onto that. Good morning to you too. Hope you're well. Hey Josh, how are you doing? Check AUD just entered a buy. Please cross check for me. Of course, we'll have a look. Hey EM Trading, how many pairs are you currently trading? I'm trading one currently. I was in Euro JPY last night, but that one hit stop loss, so I'm currently in one trade. Hey Ross, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Your EJ trade was correct, but big guys made up some news to liquid positions, just wrong time. Yeah, I mean, I could tell something like that because price just tanked very, very quickly, because I was actually woke up and then I was actually looking at the pair, and then we just had the 4 o'clock close here on this level here. So this candle, we just had the not 4 o'clock, sorry, 6 o'clock close. So this is UK time, and then yeah, things were looking good, and then so 6, this one closed at 7. So yeah, I was watching the trade around this candle here, and then it was bullish like 5 minutes to 7, and then I was watching the trade, then it suddenly just started to pull down like really sharp, and I was like, is there news? I wasn't too sure, and then the next candle just opened up and tanked, and I was like, what is going on there? Everything was looking good, then big move to the downside. Again, Euro yen is still very, very bullish pair. I still expect it to go and eventually take those highs, and I will be looking to get back involved. It's just, yeah, I may have entered too early with that trade, so I will be looking for a re-entry to get into this one. I'm going to wait for things to settle first, not jump straight back in. But in terms of my bias and what I'm expecting Euro JPY to do, nothing has changed. It's just that I probably got in too early to the position, but I will be looking to get back involved. But yeah, they definitely liquidated a lot of positions, 100%, because there will be a lot of stop losses below that low as well. Strong DXY doesn't match with gold movement. It seems something's wrong. Yeah, I mean, sometimes things are off. Sometimes not everything's perfect. Sometimes we saw a lot during the Russia Ukraine, when things really got to the height of things at the start, around, was it March time? Can't remember, February. We saw DXY flying and we saw gold flying at the same time. So things were really out of sync at that stage. They've got more in tune as of recent times. Gold has been really moving, pretty well in relation to the DXY, but sometimes they do go out of sync, so it's not always perfect. The correlation between Euro USD and DXY is probably the most perfect out of them, mainly because Euro does make up, I think, the biggest part of the DXY index, I'm pretty sure. So Euro and DXY correlations more or less always pretty good, but sometimes gold does slip, and it does kind of fall out of sync a little bit. But I'm still expecting gold to fall. I'm still expecting DXY to rise. We'll just see what happens. They might be a little bit out of sync with each other, but in terms of the direction, it looks pretty solid still for them. But yeah, we'll take a look at Euro AUD. I did not forget. ADJPY, sure thing, we'll take a look. Yeah, I'll take a look at ADUSD as well, no problem. Eurocad shorting, fair play. I mean, I'm still looking to short that one, but I do want it to go a little bit higher to 1.34 first. before I do short, but my bias is still sell overall because of the higher time frames and the momentum. But I'll take a look at EURUSD first, and then I'll go into AUD/USD next. So where is it? No, there you are. Okay, so yeah, EURUSD, again, weakness in the euro, nice push to the downside, breaking out that consolidation. Not the cleanest breakout, to be honest with you. It's only just about cleared it, and it's frying some wicks to the downside. So I wouldn't really be sold with that breakout too much. I want price to probably push a little bit further than that. But yeah, in terms of what the market is doing, it's still stalling at this area. You can see those wicks there on the daily chart. A million wicks over there on the left translates to a lot of wicks here on the right. We could probably be seeing some retracement, retest some structure here. I would not be surprised with those wicks there on the daily. We might see some downside in terms of retracement, but I would still expect the market to be heading to the upside in these areas. So 1.48, 150, 1.7-ish are nice areas to look to get involved with, and expecting that next higher low to form essentially and see some upside. So yeah, I'm still expecting EURUSD to push past this one, probably 1.5, maybe beyond, before we do see the bigger reversal. But yeah, if you're looking to trade this one, I'd wait for some more downside first before looking to buy. And again, we're still kind of trading in that consolidation. We are slightly below it, but I'm not quite convinced with that breakout just yet. I do want the price to push down further. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the next wedge candle close back inside the consolidation, really. So yeah, EURUSD bias is still bullish for the well, not really for the foreseeable future, because I still expect this to roll over, but we might push up a little bit first, maybe retest some areas here, 1.51, before we do see that lower high form. So yeah, with EURUSD, nice structures to look to buy from, 1.481, 1.47, and then yeah, probably can see some nice upside from that for a few days or so. So hopefully that made sense. And also let me guys know your bias as well, what you're looking to do in the markets. I'm interested, because obviously people have different styles, different entry points, and yada yada yada. So I am interested to see what you guys are thinking in the charts. But I'll take a look at AUD/USD now. Said you were in some buys for this one. Excuse me. Said you were in some buys. So yeah, I mean, I'm expecting the market to retrace, but it's definitely not really a market that I would look to buy. I'm a big advocate of trading with the higher time frame direction, waiting for the pullbacks on the lower time frames and trading with the higher. So this is never really a trade that I'll look to take, really. So although I'm expecting retracement, it's still obviously against the grain, still gonna be a little bit of a difficult trade to get some real juice out of. Typically in these conditions, you don't want to be pushing the trade too far, and make sure you're taking profit when you're seeing it, and taking partials essentially is what I mean. And not try and push the trade too far, but we've just taken out these lows here. Price is still very, very corrective, so you could be seeing some upside. I'm not too sure where your targets are and what time frames you're buying it as well. You could be on the 5 minute for I know. I mean, looking for 5 pips, which is fair enough. But yeah, there's not really much to go with AUD/USD, because obviously we have to go all the way back here to find some support, which is back in 2019. We're clearing some lows, so there's not really a lot of data to work with in this area. So for me, yeah, it's not really a trade opportunity that I'll take. Of course, if it fits your plan, do what you need to do, 100%. But with the trade here, fresh lows, expecting retracement, but yeah, nothing that I really would buy into. If you are looking at trading it, then probably 0.66900, or maybe even this area here, 0.671 is the take profits I will have. I wouldn't push it past that area, because we could form a lower high and roll back over, come back to your entry point and stuff like that. So yeah, if it fits your plan, see the trade through, do what you need to do. But just my advice is make sure you're taking profits pretty quickly and taking your partials, just in case the market does indeed roll back over. But yeah, how many pips are you looking for from that trade? Okay, sure, no problem. Happy to help. Yeah, I mean, of course, yeah, it could still push lower. I mean, again, the higher time frames are still very, very bearish, and I'm still always looking to sell this market. I was actually hoping it would retrace high yesterday, but it kind of just found a bit of a brick wall and then rolled over. So yeah, the market's still pretty bearish. I was talking about price pushing to some of these areas here. Unfortunately, we just haven't seen enough momentum to get anywhere near that. We still could, of course, but at this rate, we could still roll over pretty cleanly. So yeah, in terms of my bias and everything, I'm still expecting AUD/USD to roll over, and I do think this can go a lot further. Fill those COVID wicks that I was talking about yesterday. So I still do think there's a lot more downside for this one, but I just want this one to retrace. So yeah, for your sake, I do want it to go up because I want to sell it back down again. Could you please take a look at pound AUD? I'm in a sell, hoping it will melt down. Okay, we'll take a look at pound AUD. Trade 5 minute time frame, guys. Is it bad? 5 minute time frame. I mean, it's whatever you want to trade. 5 minute time frame, 15 minute time frame, hourly time frame, daily time frame. It's all the same in terms of patterns and concepts and styles you're trading. It's all the same thing, just time periods a lot different. Lower time frames, you have to take into account sessions and spread. Higher time frames, more looking to take into account news and holding over longer periods of time. So there's no right or wrong thing in terms of which time frame to trade. Obviously, it just depends, what type of trader you are. You're a day trader, scalper, swing trader, and whatever that is, match the time frame. So no, trade 5 minute, 100%. 20 pips. Okay, that makes sense. If you're only looking for 20 pips, you probably could squeeze 20 pips to the upside. I mean, if I'm looking at that level there from current price, it is about 20 pips away, to be fair, from current price. So you probably could see a move like that. But again, even with 20 pips, I'll still be looking to take some partials as well, just in case price does roll over. You can see those wicks down the hourly do not look too nice. But yeah, 20 pips should be doable. US 30, sure, we'll take a look, no problem. Bro, why you don't use an indicator like MA, RSI or something? I do use the moving averages from time to time, so yeah, I do use the moving averages from time to time. They're quite good for confluence on the higher time frames for trend and swing. But yeah, the RSI, I don't really use it because the RSI, you can use it for like overbought, oversold, and divergence, but it's pretty much, you can tell that from price action alone. Really, you can tell when the price is overbought and oversold, pretty easy just by understanding, how the market has moved. So from that aspect, their RSI doesn't really do too much. I understand divergence might give something extra, really, but again, it's all about confluence. RSI is never really going to tell me to get into a trade or get out of a trade. That's always going to be price action. If I want to use the RSI, it's going to be for confluence, and I already have a lot of other things for confluences based on price action, multi-time frames, structure, candlesticks, trend lines, support, resistance, key levels, moving averages, even Fibonacci. So I do have a lot of things used for confluence based normally around price action. So RSI would just be another thing on top of that, but in terms of trading, doesn't really add too much to my game. So yeah, I don't really use it. I mean, I'm not saying it's not bad, obviously. 100% use it if you want to use it. Of course, it will add more confirmation to your trades. It will give you more confluence. So if you want to use indicators, 100% use indicators. But, everything is price, really. The indicators are indicating on price. And if you can understand price, you can understand price action, you can be your own indicator. And then you can use indicators just to back up what you're already thinking. UAD looks very bearish from the higher time frames. The price bounced off the weekly level and the monthly resistance, and it's starting to melt down. Yeah, I'm expecting UAD to head down, back down to lows eventually. Hence why I was expecting a lower high to form on the break and retest over here, which didn't form. Price actually broke through that level there. So I do think longer term we are coming back down to lows. Same thing for EURNZD as well. I do think we are coming back down to lows. But with the current price action, the current structure, we can't ignore. I know I had a bit of a meltdown there, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not really a meltdown at all. if you look at the daily time frame, it's just a wick to the downside so far. So it hasn't really done anything in that context. And when you're talking about the weekly and monthly resistance and monthly trend, you need to be seeing some real momentum coming back in. And all we're seeing is just a strong 4H candle. So nothing's changed too much from that aspect. I want to see some structure getting broken. And when some structure getting breaks, that will tell me that, okay, the bears are stepping in for real. And now we can wait for a pullback and short that back down again. So if I start seeing these lows getting taken out, especially this low here, that will really invite some sales to the downside, correction, and then those sales will make a lot more sense and will be in tune with the higher time frames, and you can look to push those trades really, really far if you want to. Here, you're kind of trying to call the top a little bit. So yeah, feel free to do that. It's just probability is a little bit against you a little bit because the intraday and intra-week momentum is still pretty bullish, and we could still push up into this area here potentially. Because looking at USD, I was expecting a low high to form around here-ish for us to roll back over. But you can see we've still pushed on. Reason being, the intraday, intra-week momentum is still bullish and the price is still riding that same momentum. And EURUD could do the exact same thing. So it's important to wait for structure to break. And that will give you the invitation that, okay, the higher time frames could be coming in now. And now it's time for some longer term sells. You can see structure always still holding here, never really giving us an indication to sell the market. Well, it did over here, but we didn't actually get an entry at that time. So yeah, for EURUD, 100% with you with that longer term prediction. That's what I do see the market heading towards eventually. But in terms of what's going on now, prices still give me higher highs and higher lows. So until that structure breaks, I expect the market to go higher. Until that structure breaks, and that's when my higher time frame bias will kick in. And then I'll start looking for those longer term sales back down to these lows. But you're right, 100% on the weekly. Bearish trend, very, very strong. Had a huge impulsive leg not too long ago. We're seeing momentum on the monthly time frame as well. So yeah, high time frames are good. Just we're not seeing that momentum and that structure yet on the 4H. So when that comes through, I'll be on the bandwagon. What's that saying? On the bandwagon, yeah, on the bandwagon, selling it as well, but not quite yet. CAD yen, yeah, CAD yen sell 107. Okay, is that your trade there? Then a big bounce back up. Okay, we'll take a look at that, Jace. Indicators just follow price, bro. Useless. I mean, no, indicators are not useless. They're not useless. They do follow price, and obviously understanding price action, you become your own indicator sort of thing. But indicators definitely add confidence to a trade because not necessarily, I mean, you could probably guess when divergence forms, but you won't be able to guess it as accurate as a RSI indicator or anything else. So indicators, they do add confidence to a trade, but obviously you want to be able to understand price and what price is doing, and then you can throw indicators on the top if you want confidence to your decision making. So indicators do add a lot from that aspect. But at the end of the day, they're just telling you what price is already doing, and with a decent understanding of price action, you can really tell what price is doing really. Anyway, so you don't really need an indicator from that aspect if you just understand structure and candlesticks. But to back up a trade, they do add some additional information and confidence to a trade. As I'm a scalper looking for pairs that there is a minimum correlation, by the way, them and especially with gold, I'm considering gold, pound yen, EURUD, USD CAD. What do you think? Please share your thoughts and advice. Okay, so gold, pound JPY, EURUD, USD CAD. It's not a bad combination. To be fair, there's a lot of pips in gold, GJ, and EURUD, USD CAD. There is, but not as much of those there. So it's a good combination, to be fair. I mean, if you're a scalper, you probably don't need 4 pairs to trade with, to be fair. Scalping, you probably want to focus on just 1 or 2, really. And get right down and dirty with the 1 minute time frame or 5 minute even, and go for a few pips at a time. So you don't really need that four time frames. I mean, not 4 time frames, sorry, 4 pairs to focus on. I think that's probably a bit too much for scalping. Your probably attention might be a little bit all over the place at that point. But of course, if you can manage it, then feel free. But if it's getting a bit too much, I would advise to maybe focus on 1 or 2 pairs. for scalping. But in terms of pairs, that's perfectly fine. There's a lot of gold and pound JPY scalpers out there on the internet. So in terms of scalping, those pairs are very, very popular. UAD is a good pair. I do prefer pound AUD to UAUD, but they're pretty similar. Still packed full of pips, and you'll get some nice moves in London session with that pair, and USD-CAD as well. US session, probably see some nice moves, and USD-CAD, a bit more textbook. One of my favorite pairs, as well as trading and analyzing as well. So USD-CAD's a nice little pair. Again, not as much pips as the other ones, but yeah, it's a good mix. And also tip for scalping, you want to understand, the pip movement. Sorry, throat's a little bit croaky. Like the average pip movement, like for a session for each of those pairs. So, if a say gold moves, I don't know, 100 pips during London or during New York session on average or something like that. I have no idea what it is, but let's say it is. Then you understand that, okay, all I need to do is find a level which give me, I don't know, a 10 pip bounce, 5 pip bounce or something like that. And you can probably find 2 or 3 trades during that session if on average it moves 100 pips in either direction. So understand the pip amount, the average pip for a session, and see if you can base a strategy looking for pips within that kind of pip range for scalping. So do look into that 100%. But yeah, those are good pairs. Any pair normally major is good to scalp. No problem, happy to help. Let me see, did I miss any pairs? Because I think I did. US 30, yes I did. Anything else? No, I looked at you. Pound AUD, I didn't look at you. Okay, so pound AUD, US 30, I'll get on to now. Okay, so yeah, pound AUD. So yeah, pound AUD is still very, very bear. Well, it's running out of steam a little bit, but overall still pretty bearish, and I still expect this guy to go a lot further long term. Still looking at that trend hitting down at these lows here at 1.6. So for the long term, I'm heavily short biased in this one. Was looking to see if we can pull back to this area this week, but the market just doesn't look like it's got enough juice in it really, and it might just tumble. So yeah, you're currently short. Nice, it looks good. We've seen some upside once. I remember I was buying some of this bullish momentum here, retrace upside twice, and now price is failing to see a third upside move, which is a good sign from a seller's perspective. And it looks like the market could be looking to topple around this area, getting ready for a move back down to these lows. So yeah, from a short perspective, everything is looking pretty good. The market is holding on for dear life at this level here. You can see if I go in the hourly time frame, we had again another move to the upside, failed, second move failed, now third one failed. So if you can take out some of these lows here, you could be onto a nice little runner back down to some of these areas here. Nice little gap that price still might want to fill at that area, 1.694, and potentially back down to these equal lows here at 1.688. So yeah, looking very, very good. I have to admit, pound AUD sales are looking very good. Nice resistance at that level that the market is still respecting. I assume your stop loss might be above this level here somewhere. I'm not too sure your targets are, but yeah, you could be onto a really nice trade back down to those lows essentially. And if you can push past that, you've got this nice level here at 1.69500, and then you could probably be looking at some new lows past this point here as well. Certainly if this is going to be the next lower high for pound AUD, if this is going to be the next lower high, we'll be expecting those lows to go. So yeah, in terms of direction, everything is still looking good for pound AUD. High time frame still pointed down. If you're looking to buy or sell, just make sure you're in high time frame direction, and just that alone will help with confluence and probability of your trade working out. So 100% well done from that aspect. In terms of the level that price is bouncing on, it looks good. And yeah, as long as we don't break through that resistance, I would expect us to return back down to those lows. So yeah, pound AUD is looking like a nice little setup there. Okay, so US 30, I'll take a look at that one as well. Yeah, sometimes do forget the pairs that I'm saying we'll look at. So yeah, US 30, this one pulling up a little bit, but nothing too dangerous. I mean, everything is still pretty much in line with the high time frame still, and we're still expecting price to push back down to these lows. We could still see some upside, maybe to retest this structure here as well, but as long as we maintain the consolidation, I would expect price to probably roll over pretty soonish. So with US30, we might bang our heads against this level and then roll over, or we might go and tap the consolidation one more time as well, and then roll over. I just don't want to see price clear the high of the consolidation at 31,300. If we start doing that, we could start seeing some more upside, something like that, and potentially from a bigger low high or something like that happens, which could take some time. But as long as we respect this area here, I'm expecting us to fall over maybe towards the end of the week or coming to the start of next week. And in terms of entries, 30,900 looks like a good place to enter. Obviously wait for some confirmation, and obviously back at the same high that price did reject from yesterday. But yeah, when we did clear this low, I was expecting price just to follow through to the downside and keep going, but we have bounced from that area. I mean, if you didn't get into the trade, first of all, this gives you an opportunity to get back in, to be fair. So happy days from that perspective. So yeah, for US30, in terms of direction, still expect the market to head south, but obviously the market's having trouble at support here. So we could see a bit of relief to that, into that first level, 3900 or maybe 31,100, and then from there, we could probably see the market tank. But if you do clear this resistance here, the high of that consolidation, things get a little bit sticky for US30. So yeah, I'm banking on price still holding that level and rolling over. So yeah, hopefully that made sense for US30. Take a look at some of the comments. CAD JPY, I did say I was going to look at that. Completely forgot. I'll get into that as well. Looking to buy CAD Yen at around 107. What do you think? We'll take a look. I sell Euro JPY top of consolidation. Then it retraces back this time. What do I do? Okay, we'll take a look at Euro Yen. Yes, bro. RSI just confidence to see divergence. Yeah, exactly. If you're using RSI for confidence of divergence, that's perfectly fine. Use it for that. In terms of overbought and oversold, I feel like you can gauge that on your own pretty well. It doesn't take considerable skill to know when the market's overbought, oversold, type of thing. So you can understand that from a naked eye. But divergence, that could add some nice confidence to a trade. But that's pretty much just how far it's going to take you. So yeah, CAD Yen I'll take a look at. Pound Yen, 80 CAD. We'll take a look. Shorting 80 CAD from yesterday. Nice. That did see some nice downsides. A little bit choppy though. But I will take a look. Hey, cleaning services, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. I went for pound CAD. Profit targets. A little skeptical around it. Okay, we'll take a look at pound CAD as well. No problemo. Okay, a lot of pair requests. Nice. Okay, so CAD Yen. Completely forgot what pair I was supposed to look at first. Okay, so yeah, CAD Yen for this one, still trading at a nice little area of broken resistance turn to support. I do think CAD Yen can bounce from here. at 107.5. If not, I'm looking at this area here next and this area here. These are my three main important areas where I do think price will have a nice bounce. I'm still holding this one, and I do think we can see some upside from here, 107.500. Nice wick to the downside with pretty much all the yen pairs, to be fair. And we're seeing a nice little reaction. So yeah, I would expect price to go to the upside again, because we do have a bit of an hourly bearish trend here. We can't necessarily ignore that. I know we're in the direction of the higher time frames, but we do have to respect what the market is doing currently. So push to 108.100 looks very, very good. That's probably the first target to have, where maybe a stop loss to break even or some partials secured around that 108.100 mark, or 108 if you're looking for the psychological level. Around this area does make a lot of sense. And if we can start breaking through some of this structure, that's when we can start to see price fly again, maybe return back to some of this area here, that huge consolidation that price broke out of and retested. Maybe you can see price go and retest that as well. But yeah, this definitely here is kind of your first major obstacle, where price could tap into this resistance supply and see another bearish leg to the downside, maybe go and hit some levels down here as well. So yeah, buys for CAD Yen looks very, very good still at 107.500. 108 or 108 at 100 is a nice little first target for some partials or stop loss to break even. That's kind of the first major obstacle where price can come back down against you. But if you can clear that, like I said, who knows what this one could do. We could see some new highs. I would not be surprised if price does that again with CAD yen and pretty much all the other yen pairs really. So yeah, looking good for some buys, but be aware of 108 because things could turn around at that level. Pound yen, we'll take a look at pound yen. So pound yen, we did see some downside. I was looking for that one to go a little bit higher first yesterday into 165, but it turns out this level held pretty well. I think someone was shorting this one yesterday from that area, so hopefully they banked some nice profit from that. Really nice move to the downside, but we have got a nice little test of this area here finally. So again, looks like price is starting to react with this one, which is where I'm expecting price to get to Monday, but we kind of just rolled up to the upside there without quite testing it. But nice strong wick into that level. Now price is having a reaction. So again, pound yen's a little bit messy, to be fair. I'm not really the big fan of trading how it's looking right now. I would expect to see a move to the upside, but I wouldn't be surprised if we come straight back down again. I do think we probably can head back down to these lows eventually. So again, buys from here look good, but I wouldn't hold it for too long, a day or two, maybe coming back into the same resistance, because we could look to roll over and come back and retest support. You can see the nature of the market and how it's moving. I'm expecting that kind of pattern to continue until it doesn't really, until you get a breakout somewhere. But the market is still a little bit of a mess for me for pound yen. So yeah, buys look good, but I wouldn't push it past where it came from, 164.350 or 165 up there, before we can probably maybe roll back over again for pound yen, something like that. Unless we clear that, and then I'll be back on the bullish side of things for pound yen. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the price action, but it's a nice little level we're bouncing from. So I do think some short-term buys will come back in. But yeah, I wouldn't hold that trade for too long. Eurocad, I think, is next. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. Ashwin, I'll take a look at Eurocad as well, and take a look at pound CAD cleaning services. Hey Motive, how I'm doing? I'm doing good. Hope you are as well. I'm also price action trading many entries above 30-minute time frame. Currently, I'm taking your trades on Euro CHF, pound USD, and ZUSD, and for now observing gold. Nice, you're really in amongst it. So yeah, I'm a price action trader as well. So welcome to the club. But with full-time job, it seems to me harder to follow all of them. So which pairs from the list would you erase? I know USD pairs are moving similar, but again, sometimes not all of them give confirmation. Yeah, that is a little bit of a predicament that, someone who trades multiple pairs like myself, sometimes you're looking at Euro USD and then it doesn't quite give you a good confirmation, but pound USD did. And all in all, we're pretty much trading the same move. We're trading dollar strength, we're trading dollar weakness, just against a different currency: Euro, Pound, AUD, NZD. So we're taking the same trades. All the dollar pairs generally move the same way, maybe at different rates or different specific times they get going. But it's all the same trades we're looking at. You just look at the daily trends for all of the dollar pairs; they're all the same. So I understand that predicament, because sometimes you're looking at the pair, you don't quite get the confirmation, and then another pair does. But to me, the only way around it so far that I've figured is to focus for that pair for a longer period of time. So for example, if I'm looking at Euro USD and didn't give me a good confirmation this week, if I'm patient enough, maybe not this week, probably next week, in a few days or sometime, I will get a good entry confirmation to get involved. So say today Euro USD gives me a good buy confirmation, for example, but pound USD didn't, and pound USD is the pair I was looking at. Maybe in a few days time I'll get a good confirmation on pound USD, but I wouldn't on euro. So stay with pound until it gives you good confirmation to buy or sell, because it will, just may not be right now. So the tip to go around that is focus on the pair, see it through for maybe a week or two or three, and it will give you some good setups along that way. Other pairs will give you setups at different times, but see it through. And yeah, if you're looking to ditch some pairs because of what's going on in your life, that's perfectly fine as well. And just pick whatever pair is giving you best trades and best performance, really. Gold's full of pips is a great pair to trade. Pound USD, mostly full of pips, good pair to trade. I mean, if you're in the UK or the US, then gold, pound USD is probably your best bet. NZD USD will give you some good entries out of session in Asian session, and your receipt chef is a little bit of a funny pair, to be fair. But hey, if your receipt chef is your best performing pair, and you feel like you're very in sync with that one, then add it to list. So basically, sort of whatever pairs that give you the best opportunities, really. Pick those pairs. But yeah, I do understand what you're talking about. So I'll take a look at AUD and pound CAD right now. Okay, so yeah, AUD CAD, sell bias for this one, still looking for us to roll over, but again, not a fan of the price action whatsoever. Look how choppy that is. Not what I want to be seeing at all. I'm still looking for us to return back down to these lows for AUD CAD at 0.87520. So I'm still looking at this rolling over back down to those lows. I'm just being patient before getting involved because, yeah, price action is not looking good. With these higher highs and higher lows, we could still blow through this resistance here. And again, I know a lot of stop losses are above here. We could see that going to get taken out as well. So basically, all I'm waiting for is some momentum to come back in. If we can break some lows here, nice move to the downside, lower high, then I'll probably look to jump in. Something like that will invite me to get involved. Other than that, not much. We do have a nice little brick wall here, so it's at a good level AUD CAD where it could turn around. It's just that I'm not completely sold yet on the 4H and the hourly price action. Hey, thank you much appreciated. Much appreciated. That's the second ever super chat. Big up, big up. So yeah, AUD CAD, yeah, could see some nice downside. I'm expecting it to go a lot further, but yeah, price action is just not great, and probably do have a nice little trend line that's acting a bit as friction. So yeah, it's a good sell. It's a good sell, and I'm 100% with you in the direction. But yeah, I just not completely convinced yet until I get some structure breaks, or maybe in the hourly time frame, and then I'll look to trade it. So yeah, it's a nice little level. But yeah, I just need some momentum to come back in, and then yeah, I'll look to trade it with you. I mean, there's a long way down to where I'm expecting price to head to. So 170 pips, I'm not really too bothered about capturing the top there. I can still wait for price to do its thing a little bit and still get 100 pips to the downside. So yeah, AUD CAD good, looking good. Just hopefully we can get a break of structure and things can really commence. Pound CAD, you said you're in some sells. Pound CAD, you said you were in some sells. Okay, so pound CAD 1.52233, profit target 1.50274. Skeptical about holding it. Wanted to know your thoughts. No problem. Okay, so yeah, pound CAD has been hectic. You can see their price action is, it's not most attractive in the world. So I've been looking for AUD CAD to climb a little bit higher to sell it back down. That's the only reason why I want it to go higher, so I can break out this kind of range here, and then I can sell it back down again after. But as of right now, it's very, very messy. You said you were in okay, so you're in some sells. 1.52233. Okay, so that's around here-ish. Profit target 1.5027. Okay, so you're basically back down at these lows here. So yeah, it does make sense. 100% it makes sense because we're following the higher time frame trend, the higher time frame momentum. I mean, it looks like you're in some nice profit. So if I was you straight away, I'll be looking to take some partials because you can look at the noise that price has just got into here. There's a good chance price could return back to your entry price. So there's a lot of noise in your way. So partials is a good way to battle that psychology and also just to bank some profit just in case price does turn back to your entry price. So yeah, I'm expecting price to get here and go a lot lower. I do have some targets a lot lower, 1.5, 1.49 that we could look to hit eventually. It's just up to price if you want to break through all of that support there. I mean, I'm looking in the hourly, nice move down, rip to the upside, pushing up again. So yeah, price action is just not perfect with this one. So yeah, with this one, I'll respect the trade, respect the plan. That's the only thing you can really do at the end of the day. If you need to hold the trade, if that's what your plan says, then hold the trade. But to counteract your kind of, lack of confidence in the trade and maybe a bit of emotions, take some profit off the table. Doesn't matter if you don't get that full target with the full volume and the full R, doesn't really matter. What matters is staying through the plan and seeing the trade out. It does make sense. You're with the higher frame trend, you're reacting off a nice level. Essentially what you're doing is taking advantage of the range, really selling at the high, expecting a swing back down to the low of the range. It's just up to the price if it wants to break past, this kind of area here. There's a lot of noise there. If it breaks past, if it breaks past that, should see a pretty clean move back down to the lows. If it doesn't, it probably will return back to your entry price. So yeah, take some partials and see the trade through. Maybe stop loss to break even if you want to as well. But it does look good. It does look good. It's just that a little bit of friction there that we need to break through. So hopefully that was useful. No problem much. I just saw your message right now. No problem. Thanks for the donation though. Thanks for the donation. Okay, so yeah, pound AED went through that one, profit from yesterday. So yeah, pound AED still looking good. So hopefully that guy can roll over for you back down to the lows. Whereas pound AED, so yeah, still looking good. It is at that support, so it's dancing around a little bit, but I would expect it to break soon enough. And we do have some pound news tomorrow. Actually, we do have some pound news that I forgot to mention. Let me get out the old economic calendar. Is it there? No, it is not. So yeah, we do have some pound news tomorrow. I believe the interest rate decisions. Where are you? Yeah, Bank of England. So 12. So that'll be at the end of the stream tomorrow. So I'll probably leave the stream running a little bit after, so you can catch what happens with that interest rate decision. But yeah, if you're trading pound AUD, of course that's a pound pair. Hopefully that breaks through that support by tomorrow, so you can probably take some more profit off the table and maybe get nice little stop loss in there. So whatever happens, it could just fly in your direction, or it could go hit your stop loss or something like that, or your entry or something like that. But yeah, Bank of England tomorrow. So do be careful if you are trading any pound pairs. But so yeah, let's hope price can break through that today then. Okay, just can tell you based on your experience which pairs react respect to support and levels nicely. Gold respects the support and resistance very, very well. Gold respects support and resistance very well. Pound USD, I prefer Euro to Pound USD, to be fair. Pound USD, I feel like it not has it fake outs, but I feel like Pound USD is a little bit more, what's the word? So I don't want to say surprising, because it's not surprising. It fluctuates a little bit more. Like, it still respects support resistance very, very well and key levels very, very well, but sometimes has a little bit extra like movement in one direction, might fake people out. I don't want to say stop hunts because it's not a stop hunt, but it's a little bit more exciting. Euro USD is very, very sensible. It does obviously have its fake outs and stuff like that, but it's a bit more conventional and it respects support resistance very, very well. And it's probably my favorite pair to trade, really. So Euro USD, I prefer to Pound USD, but gold alone reacts with support resistance very, very well. I know sometimes gold is a little bit daunting, but gold for me respects levels very, very well and respects structure very, very well as well. Structure in gold is pretty good, to be fair. And I've only started trading gold for the past year and a half, really. Before that, I didn't really touch gold because I was just too scared of it, really. But yeah, gold structure is very, very good as well. So yeah, gold and Euro USD for me. And the USD, yeah, pretty much the same thing as Pound AUD. Euro CHF. Euro CHF is a bit more erratic, consolidates a little bit more. So yeah, from a scalping point of view, Euro CHF might not be your best bet. But yeah, gold Euro USD is a good little combination. Yeah, thank you much. Yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, please be sure to leave a like. I haven't said that yet. Be sure to leave a like on the stream. Subscribe if you haven't done already. If you're new to the channel, I do go live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. London time. And like always, I just go through a bunch of pairs, whatever pairs you're looking at, whatever pairs that I'm trading, share trades, strategies, even whatever basically Forex related on the stream. So yeah, feel free to subscribe if you feel like that's up your alley. But no problem for joining late. No problem for joining late. I mean, again, you're not in school, so no worries. But welcome to the stream anyway. I assume you already covered Euro USD. Yeah, I have gone over Euro USD, but I can go over that again quickly if you want me to. For your answer, the problem with pound USD is for now, if you look also, you will see that it reached so low level nowadays that no historical data for next potential support. Yeah, that's what I thought, but it's actually not all-time lows for pound USD. It's not actually all-time lows. I thought for a long time that COVID low was all-time lows. It's actually not. I mean, you have to go a long way back on the quarterly time frame, but this is actually the lowest low. Actually, to be fair, I'd expect it to be the lowest low, but obviously this goes back to 1971. It could have gone lower. But the data I've got with FXCM on TradingView, it goes back to 1971, and it actually got a low down here. It's actually got a low down here at 1.05765, and I believe that's where pound USD is heading towards. So in terms of support, there's a huge level of support right here, but past that, you're in like no man's land really, and you got 1.000. You got parity right there as well, so that could be interesting. But yeah, pound USD is broken through this colossal level of support here. Since 1986, been holding price for to 2016. So that is, if my maths is correct, it's about 30 years. Yeah, maths is not necessarily my strong point off the top of the head, but so yeah, about 30 years, prices hold that support, and now it's just done a very, very clean double top on that level, which is not a good sign, because prices obviously retested it once, could be a fake out, retested it twice, most likely not a fake out, and now we're getting a clean move to the downside, breaking through some support here as well. So yeah, for me, pound USD most likely will come to those lows there, which are, from this data, all-time lows at 1.50203. So I do think there's still a long way to go for pound USD and its bearish saga really. And I think if we do see a big move to the upside, that could get people excited, and that there could be the next major lower high for a big tank to the downside. Or it could just fall, it could just melt, to be fair. But yeah, I do think pound USD still got a bit more juice to it, but yeah, it's not actually all-time lows. I thought it was, but it's not actually. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. Definitely right with likes. Yeah, 74 watching. Let's target 60 likes. Miko's always courteous. Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, yeah, I do appreciate the kind messages. And yeah, guys, feel free to leave a like on the video if you are finding it useful and you are enjoying the content. Obviously, it does really help out the channel. Soul gold at 2072 and still holding. Damn. Wad Africa? No way. Really? 2072? Price hasn't been there since Russia Ukraine, I'm pretty sure, because we got all-time highs at 2075 and price came to around 2072. I'm pretty sure it was 2073 before it melted. No problem cleaning services. Hopefully it helped. But yeah, let me go on gold quickly. I'm actually trading that as well. As you can see, currently trading that short. Price not moving too well, it's consolidating there, but as long as we stay below that resistance, I'm still expecting us to roll over. But 2072, yeah, did you actually do that? Because we didn't actually hit 2072. We hit 207678. Unless you sold it over here. Yeah, unless you sold it over here in 2020 and you're still holding it from then, or unless you got a different broker, the different broker fills it in at 2072. and this one just fills it at 2070. But yeah, unless you sold it then, yeah, I'm not too sure, because that means you caught it on the pit. So yeah, it sounds a little bit suspect to me. But hey, if you're in that trade, of course, well done. Eurocad, sure thing, we'll take a look. What pairs are you looking at right now? Yeah, actually we'll go through that because I haven't actually done that yet. With pound USD, I didn't look into 3 months data. Thanks for that. Yeah, no problem. I mean, I didn't as well for a long time, but I've started to incorporate the quarterly time frame. Not necessarily into my trading, just out of interest, really. But yeah, obviously with that you have to add the time frame in. How do you do it again? So yeah, you add the time frame here down there. So obviously go to months, type in 3. And then obviously click add, and then you add the 3 months or 6 months or whatever you want to add, 5 minute, whatever. You add it onto the time frame there. So yeah, a lot of pairs. I've seen some new data that actually go a lot lower than what I thought it would be. So yeah, interesting there, interesting. But yeah, I'll take a look at Eurocad, no problem. And actually, I'll go through some of the pairs that I'm actually looking to trade. I'd greatly appreciate if you can quickly go over EURUSD. Yeah, we'll go over that, no problem. US 30, no problem as well. We'll go over. Okay, so Eurocad, and I'll jump onto EURUSD. So yeah, Eurocad. So yeah, for this one, still bearish bias, looking for us to return back down to those lows. So been talking about sales for Eurocad for quite some time now, but I haven't really got a good entry with this one. I remember at the time around here, we were talking about AUD/USD as well. Sales did manage to get into sales for AUD/USD, and it did see a nice clean move back down to these lows, but AUD has just been messed around, really, to be fair. So I do think this one's just taking its time. It's going to catch up pretty soon, but I'm still expecting us to go and take out those lows. So I'm just waiting for cleaner price action. You can see very, very choppy, slowly climbing to the upside, starting to kind of squeeze between that support then, that resistance. So price action isn't too good in this area. I do want to see price start to break some structure first, and then I'll start to entertain some sales potentially if I can get some good confirmations. But I'm not a fan of the price action at all, really, for Eurocad. So I'm waiting for price to break some structure and then get in for some sells. You could probably catch some sells from the high there, but you probably want to take some partials and some profit pretty quickly, just in case that happens there, which could potentially happen before we do get the bigger sell off. So yeah, sells from this level still look good, but again, be sure to take some partials quickly, and then if we can get the break of the trend line and the break of the structure, that will just be a bonus, and then you can probably swing it back down to lows if you want to. But yeah, I'm still looking at this move here happening for Eurocad. I'm just waiting for some confirmations before getting in. So yeah, I hope that made sense. EURUSD, yeah, as well with this one, still bearish. I'm looking at these lows getting taken out. We saw DXY take out those highs, as you can see. If I just draw it in real quick, so we can see DXY just about kissed those highs and gave us new highs, and I do think EURUSD is going to follow suit pretty soonish. But we're seeing some upside, hence we've come into this support here, very, very strong support, gave us this move to the upside. So price is starting to dance a little bit at that support, but with momentum in the charts, I would expect us to see some new lows pretty soon. So a pullback onto this structure will make a lot of sense. Retest that, maybe a 30-minute entry, and then sells back down to the lows. And again, like I said at the start of the stream, don't look to marry this trade and trying to push it too far. Because of where we're trading at, we are, at support. We are at support here. So with sales here, it's good in the lower time frames, but you just don't want to push the trade too far, and be sure to have some nice partials as price does go in your favor. But yeah, I'm expecting those lows to go, so that could be a nice little target to have as an end goal potentially. But be sure to have targets before that to make sure you're banking some profit. But yeah, breaking retest of that, because we did break through a lot of momentum, so a retest of that could get a nice reaction off that as well. And then yeah, lows is where I'm expecting price to get to for EURUSD, and mimic what the DXY has done, just inverted. So hopefully that made sense for EURUSD. US 30, US 30, we'll take a look. Short gold or I'm currently short on gold. If you want to short gold too, do what you want. Again, don't just blindly trade. When I trade, you can obviously follow my trades along, but I shorted gold yesterday. So if you're just jumping in now, you're just jumping in for the sake of jumping in, really. So you want to have an actual, not necessarily strategy, because some of you might be beginners and just starting out, but you want to be testing something out. That's the aim of the game. You want to be testing something out. If it doesn't work, change it. If it works, cool. How we can make it work better. That's kind of the aim we're looking for. But yeah, US 30 I'll go over. Hello Elijah, do you think GJ sell is good where it currently is? We'll take a look at pound yen as well. AUSD as well. Can you explain why? Why I shorted it? Yeah, sure thing. I'll do that as well. Okay, I'll take a look at US 30, then AUSD, and then I'll go through my gold. Actually, let me go through the pairs I'm supposed to be trading, because I did say I was gonna go do that. So yeah, the pairs my watch list. Still Euro JPY. I'm still looking at buys for this guy. It is pulling back up quite a lot. So nothing's really changed for structure for me for this one. I'm still looking at us revisiting these highs here. Looking to see if we probably push a little bit further down, but we may not hit that, and that's completely fine if we don't hit that level. That would be a nice level to go long. But now I need price to form some structure in my favor now, because yeah, we're still a little bit bearish. After breaking through those lows, we could still retest that and head south. So with this one, I need to price to break some highs, give me some higher lows, and I'll start looking to buying. But essentially what I'm looking for is Euro yen to revisit those highs again. It is the trade I'll be looking for. I just don't really have a setup yet for Euro yen to actually trade it. So with that one, just be monitoring the situation, waiting for price action to develop a little bit, and I'll look to get back in. Eurocad, I'm looking at selling and buying. This one just depends where price gets to first. Really, my bias is sell, but I do understand that we could catch some nice buys here to the place that I want to sell it, and then we can sell it back down when we get there eventually, or if we get there eventually. But yeah, Eurocad, I'm focusing on 1.32, 1.34. Right now, price is kind of in the middle of nowhere for me, so I'm not really looking to do anything. In fact, I'll probably just set alerts here and here and kind of let the pair be, because really right now it's kind of consolidating at 1.33, and that's not really an area of interest for me. So I'm waiting for 1.32 to get hit. Now look for some buys back up again, or same thing when we get up here, I'll look for sells, and from there I do think we can swing all the way back down to these lows here potentially as well. So yeah, Eurocad is definitely on the watch list. Buys and sells, just waiting for price to get to one of those areas. Now look to see what price can do at that area. I'm also looking at pound NZD. That one didn't quite come to my area of interest yesterday. I was looking at price coming a little bit higher of 1.94, because I'm still looking for that next major lower high. We've got one there, second one there, third. I'm looking for the fourth. I was expecting this to be the fourth, but price obviously just pushed past that. This potentially could be the fourth, but essentially I'm looking at us returning back down to that support, next low high, and the next drive to the downside. So I'm still looking at sells, probably not in one go. I'll probably look at trading it back into this key support here. So looking for a lower high there, something, get some nice sells, maybe from 1.94, then target back at this support. Then if we can break through that, then I'll start be entertaining that next move back down to 1.8. So probably take it in two stages really. Those shorts, first target 1.915, second target looking at 1.87787. So something like that I'll be looking at for pound NZD. Obviously Eurocad have gone through a few times, looking at some sales back down to these lows, but no clean cut structure for me to trade with yet. It's at nice level, but I'm gonna wait for some structure to break before intervening with some sells, buys. But yeah, for this one, I'm expecting price to roll over back down to those, where are you? There we go. Back down to these lows eventually. So we'll be looking for sells from a swing perspective back down to those lows. Just waiting for some structure to form. And then obviously currently right now, I'm trading gold, looking for this guy to roll back over down to those lows. And the reason essentially I'm trading gold is that we formed some nice structure yesterday. I was looking for the double top for us to roll over and see that momentum come back in. We're having a hard time breaking through this support, however, so that's causing some friction for the market to come back and retest that. But as long as we don't break through this structure, I'm still bearish on gold, looking for us to roll back over down to those lows. And long term, I'm expecting us to go and hit 1600 and actually 1550 was it? Was it 1550. So yeah, coming back to 1550 into this level there. So that's what I'm expecting gold to go long term. So basically, any rallies I see for gold, and I get some good confirmations, I'll be looking to short it back down into these areas here. So if this level doesn't hold, I'll be looking to get back in with gold at this level up here, which will be my second area of interest for gold. So that is what I'll be looking at. And again, risk to rewards looking very, very healthy at that point. But yeah, rallies for gold, I'll be looking to short for the foreseeable future. But we do need to stay below 1700. Stay below 1700 and I will be a happy seller. Above that, I'll probably back off a little bit. But yeah, stay below the support, 1700. I'm looking at us tanking a lot further. So yeah, those are mainly the pairs I'm looking at. We'll see what I can get from them. Euro yen may take a little bit of time. Eurocad, again, depends when we get there. But those are the pairs I'm looking at. And yeah, hopefully I can get some more trades in later this week. If we get back into Euro yen. So I hope that made sense for those pairs. If not, let me know. And of course, if I do get any setups, I'll post it in my Telegram, so feel free to check that out if you want to. Okay, so AUD, sure thing. US30, did I look at that? No, I didn't. Pound yen, did I look at that? I don't think I did. So yeah, pound yen, AUD, US30, sure. No problem. Shah, welcome. Happy. I was about to say welcome to the stream. Happy to help. UNSD, of course. Please, what do you think about the break? BOJ intervention, do you think it is going to strengthen the yen pairs? Yeah, I have no idea what that is. Jesus is Lord. I have no idea what the intervention has done for the Bank of. So yeah, asking me, yeah, I have no idea. I'm a very, very technically driven trader, so the fundamentals, what the banks are doing, doesn't really bother me too much. I just factor in the price action anyway. I mean, that's literally what price action is the interpretation of the psychology of the people reacting to the news. So yeah, I have no idea really. I mean, I'm expecting the yen pairs eventually to take a tumble because they're very, very overstretched. And a lot of them are coming to some extreme areas. So I do think they'll take a tumble eventually, but obviously right now things are still pretty bullish for them. So I think maybe a bit more upside for them, maybe another higher high, something like that. But they are getting to the extremes where we're about to turn, and that's just me interpreting price action really. So yeah, not too sure to answer your question there. Jesus is Lord. Pound yen, US30, AUSD, of course, we'll take a look, and USD, no problem. Yeah, US30 coming right up. But I'll do pound yen first. So yeah, with pound JPY, again with this one, it had tested a really nice level, as you can see at 162,500. Nice little bounce from that level. And I do think we can see some upside for pound yen, but I don't think it will last too long, or at least I wouldn't trade it for too long. Because of how the market is moving. It's been very, very up and down, as you can see there. So in this type of structure, you don't want to be pushing trades for too far. You kind of want to be taking your profit and run sort of thing, and not trying to stretch the trade. If you're at these lows here, then sure, you can probably base a bit of a swing trade from here, maybe back to the highs of the range, and vice versa. But if you're trading like inside the range in these areas, you don't want to be holding on trades for too long, knowing what the conditions of the market are doing previously. So yeah, with pound yen, some nice buys of the break and retest look good here, but again, I wouldn't stretch the trade too far back into that resistance where it came from, and then start to look to exit the trade really. 164 400 or 165, and then from there we could actually roll back over back down to the lows here. So likewise, if you can get there, sales will look good to bring it back down again for pound yen. So yeah, everything for pound yen a little bit messy, but nice little area we are rejecting right now. So expecting some upside for pound yen, but get ready to short because it's still an area where I still think price could turn over. So yeah, hopefully that made sense there for pound yen. US 30, like I said, for this one, pretty much similar price action for the indices. Still expecting us to return back down to those daily and weekly lows here, 29,800. That is the target for US 30. All really I'm looking to do is just find a level where we could find resistance, a little high, and sell it back down really. And sell it back down. So yesterday we called some nice shorts from up here, nice reaction to the downside. Again, I don't typically trade indices really, have done in the past, but not really, and then just focus on Forex pairs. But if I was looking to trade it, that would be a nice setup, and same with these setups here. A nice break and retest coming into that level there, 3900. Are we looking to base some shorts from that level, or that consolidation, and basically kind of just retesting that same resistance from yesterday? So one of those two levels look good. Base some shorts from there, back down to those lows. And again, like I said, as long as we don't break through the consolidation, as long as we don't do something like this, I still favor us to melt to the downside. So stay below the consolidation high. Sales are still looking very, very good. And yeah, if you want to push the trade down to those lows, feel free. Obviously, this low here, price has experienced some friction here. It's tried to break through once, twice, third time. It's having some trouble. So, do be aware of that level of support. But I do expect price to break past there eventually. USD, we'll get to that, no problem. I'll look at AUD/USD first, and then I'll get on to USD. Remember, guys, if you are enjoying this the stream, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and hit the bell as well, so you don't miss out on any streams in the future or any uploads as well. Okay, so where is AUD/USD? There you are. So yeah, with AUD/USD, bearish buys with this one. Again, higher time frames are still looking quite bearish. Again, like I said, there's not a lot to work with at these areas. There's not a lot to work with. We're clearing these lows. So we're clearing those lows. And going in the past, last time we were trading in this area, got that move in 2020, didn't really stop pay much attention. Move there in 2020 Feb, didn't really pay much attention. We found support nicely over there. And that was back in 2019. So, and I expect this level to break as well. So there's not a lot of data to work with. The trend is very much to the downside, and price is still working that way. I do think there's a lot of room for us to go and fill to the downside. So for me, AUD/USD is still very, very bearish, and I do think it can drop a lot further. So with that information, I'm waiting for a correction before selling. I said coming into the week, this level will look good, and also that level up there, and I still stand by those two levels really to short from. So really, I do want to see some upside for AUD/USD, so we can short it back down again from 0.67600 or 0.68200, depending on confirmations, obviously. So I'm looking for price to retrace and sell it back down again. And at least if we do see some upside, we can base some nice trades off prior levels of structure, and then stay in tune for high time frames. Here we're coming to fresh lows. Price hasn't been here in a few or a couple of years at least, so I wouldn't really touch price here. I wouldn't really touch price. So yeah, for AUD/USD, nothing really to do with this one. Nothing really to do on the low time frames as well. Nothing really to do. And then we've got support here. It's like price trying to break through. It's not really a break and retest that I'm a fan of. So yeah, more shorts for AUD/USD, but I do want to see some upside first. Euro/NZD, of course, we'll take a look. Okay, so yeah, Euro/NZD, we're looking at Euro/AUD previously, and still expecting us to roll over. Got some beautiful structure up there, and we're obviously testing some resistance right now. So one of these two areas is where I do think we can form that lower high to have that bigger move to the downside, and see price roll over. So looking for sales for Euro/NZD, looking for sales. In terms of jumping into sales, nothing right now. I do want to see some structure break, and some basic reversal patterns. I know we've formed some consolidation here. We could retest that and roll over, but yeah, it's not really my cup of tea. I want to see some structure break tell me that the sales are coming back in, sellers are coming back in, and I'll look for a lower high based on that and sell it back down again. Really, for me, price is still pretty bullish, and it could still rally into that second level for all we know. So yeah, for USD, still sell buys. I do think it can come a long way down, but I want to start seeing some lower highs build up or break through the structure, one of the two, and then I'll start looking for sells or rally again into 1.71, and from up there you can base some nice shorts as well. But I do see this one coming down a lot further. So that's some really nice areas where we can expect to see a reversal of this bullish trend here. But yeah, in terms of confirmations and everything, nothing's quite ready yet. Nothing is quite ready yet for USD. So yeah, sells look good, but be patient. I know we're at resistance right now. Sells look good, but still a little bit too early for me. I'd wait for a bit more development before getting in. But yeah, in terms of direction, I do see us still heading to the downside. And targets, I see us hitting those lows, but obviously don't look for that in one go. So again, just play with the 4H lows here. That'll be a target, that'll be a target, that'll be a target, that'll be a target. So you can play with one of those levels there, as price goes in your direction. Thank you, Nathan, for subscribing. Much appreciated. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. For your NZD, I mean, let me know what you're trying to do. You're looking for buys, sells, let me know. Also, let me know what time frames you guys are working, because I know some of you do trade on the lower time frames, and again, time frames do change a lot, because you could be looking at one time frame looking to buy, another time frame looking to sell, really. So sometimes when I do explain my buys and what I'm expecting the market to do, some of you guys are doing the complete opposite, mainly because you're on the lower time frames as well. So if you do want me to take a look at the lower time frames, let me know, and I will obviously have a look. I don't trade them necessarily, but price action is still price action, so I can still give you my opinion. So yeah, so AUSD, USD, I just did US30, hopefully that helped. USD CAD, yeah, USD CAD's been flying. I'll take a look at that. Do I scalp? No, I don't scalp. Never really been my forte, to be fair. It's very much fast and furious, but I'm a bit more slow and chilled. So yeah, scalping, obviously it's just another trading style. Day trading, swing trading, position trading, just another trading style, really. So yeah, I don't scalp. But yeah, if you do scalp, feel free. I mean, do what you need to do. Gold looks like it's still coming up for another retest. Could be actually some more re-entries on that resistance if I get confirmation to re-enter. But we'll see. Wait for confirmation, of course, because we could just blow straight through the level and be coming up to this resistance before selling off. So we'll need to wait for another confirmation. But if I do get another rejection from there, I'll probably look to see if I can add another position onto it and just take advantage of the opportunity, because I'm still pretty confident that price will be getting to these lows. It may want to push up a little bit higher first, then we trace a little bit, but the bias is still pretty solid. So yeah, I mean, out of all the pairs, not really much going on for me right now, apart from gold, of course. But again, it all could change pretty quickly. I could get 2 or 3 setups in the same day. So what was I supposed to look at? USD CAD. So yeah, USD CAD, that's been flying. That's hit my monthly target for this one. Well, pretty much blowing through it, really. So, well, hasn't yet, but it's hit that monthly level there. So that's the first major target for USD CAD. But I still do think there's more upside for this one into these highs here at 1.36582. It's just that we might see some retracement from this zone here. We might see some retracement for this zone before we do push bullish and push to those highs. So yeah, for USD CAD, for me, still bullish. I know we're testing some resistance now coming into 1.34, so we might see some downside, but yeah, that downside most likely be short-lived, and I do think we'll pick up the pace and probably push into 1.36582 before you know it, really. Because you can see what price has done. It's had a very, very big rally here. It's consolidated, respected the lows of the range. So naturally expecting price to make its way to the highs of the range. Got a nice little target there, and potentially that 1.4 target as well, which I would not be surprised if we go and hit 1.4, but obviously that's very, very long term into the future. Don't really need to be thinking about that now. But since we've hit that target there, the next target is this level here. So obviously I'll leave that in. I'll leave that in for us to be aware of. But we are at a critical area. You can see that on the left, 1.34. It's an area where we could see some friction, highs there, lows there, highs. So yeah, USD-CAD, maybe some sells for maybe a couple of days and retracements. You know, we didn't really get a retest of this structure here. We could still come back and revisit this before we do see that bigger correction to the upside. So that is still definitely a possibility. In terms of the price action and what I'm seeing right now, 4H hourly, there's not a lot going on. We kind of blast to the upside. Price is kind of consolidating here. Maybe we can get a break and retest that consolidation. Maybe some short-term sells. Maybe back into this area here and then be done with the trade sort of thing. And yeah, I wouldn't probably hold it past that because like I said, I still do think this is going up, and we could do something like this and then start working our way back up, or we might just break to the upside and keep flying. So, you know, that is definitely a possibility. So yeah, USD-CAD, some downside looking likely, but I would expect it to be mainly retracement. And yeah, if you can get some nice buys and a break and retest somewhere, you know, just stay with that higher time frame. And you know, if my analysis is right, it's still a pretty long way to go from current price. Still good 280 pips. So yeah, USD-CAD retracement's looking good, but I still think we've got a long way to go before we maybe see any major reversals. So hopefully that made sense on USD-CAD. AD-CAD's been very, very popular today. It's not normally a very popular pair at all. Please teach to see 1 hour chart and entry in 15 minutes. Please teach to see 1 hour chart and entry in 15 minutes. Are you saying teach it in 15 minutes or to trade for 15 minutes or enter in the 15 minutes? Yeah, I'm not too sure about your question there, Deva. If you could reword that, that would be helpful. Please teach to see our chart entry in 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on there. Nice gold. Thanks for show gold analysis. No problem, Snowroo. Happy to help. Who is long on Euro USD? Fair play if you're long. I mean, is that a nice support where it could get a bounce? DS, are you long on Euro USD? Since you're asking, are you long on Euro USD? Use JPY, sure thing. We'll take a look. Hi Hussein, welcome to the stream. I'm doing good. Hope you are as well. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, AD-CAD, like I said for this one a bunch of times, expecting us to roll over back down to the lows. Things are still looking bearish, but I need some structure to break. So critical level we're testing right now. Sharp trend line rejecting us. So if you can break through that, things will be looking a lot better for this guy. And once we see some nice structure, some lower highs, I'll look to short and push back down to those lows, 0.87520. Yeah, 0.78520 is where I see this thing going. So I'm waiting for some lows to be printed first before entering. But yeah, that is where I expect price to go. Okay, I'll go take a look at JPY now. Have my order ready, waiting for retracement. Okay, so looking to what's your target? What's your plan for the trade? DS, what's the plan for the trade? Where are you looking to buy it to? You know, targets. You're looking for a little scalp or day trade, swing trade even. So obviously that's some critical lows. What's the plan for the trade? So basically, you know what your targets essentially. But yeah, use JPY. So yeah, this one's slowly climbing to the upside. This is what I expected to happen on Euro JPY yesterday. Basically what price is doing now, there's slow, higher lows that price is forming and steadily moving to the upside. So yeah, I was looking for price to break through these highs yesterday, and it took its time, but eventually did with a nice strong move. Had a sharp correction there, but all prices did basically was just find support, retesting all those wicks there, and now it's pushing to the upside again. So basically what price has done is bounced its head twice on that resistance there at 144.865 and respected support here, but it's been consistently forming higher low after higher low after higher low. So price is kind of squeezing between these two areas. Price is squeezing between these two areas. So I'm expecting us to work our way to grab a third test of that level. Whether we break out or not, that's completely up to price, of course. But in terms of direction and target, that's where I'm expecting price to head to for USD/JPY. So yeah, for this one, things are still looking pretty bullish for me. It's a little bit corrective, yes, but it's slowly creating those steps to the upside. So as long as we don't go and run through structure, as in something like this happens and we break through some lows, then we could probably see some downside. As long as we don't do that, I would expect price to slowly make its way to go and retest that resistance there. And then maybe from there, I can catch some nice sells again for USD/JPY. But essentially, this is the level that price is breaking the 4H. It's retesting it right now. So as long as we stay above 143.558, is that? Yeah, 143.550, we'll call it. I would expect a move back up to 144.865. And all we're doing is just creating those steps to the upside, return to resistance, and basically just see the overall bullish momentum maybe come back in. And we might see another phase to the upside, who knows. But yeah, in terms of intraday, intra-week, things are still looking pretty bullish for USD/JPY. A little bit corrective though, but price is still creating those higher lows, which is an important thing. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. Okay, so I asked how can we take 5-minute or 50-minute entry by looking. Oh, okay. So how you can take trades in the 5 or 50-minute time frame based on the hourly. So basically, you try and look for one time frame for direction, then you're going to go lower for entry. So basically, multi time frame analysis. So basically, any concept to do with multi time frame analysis, it doesn't really matter if it's hourly, 15-minute, 4-hour, daily, weekly. It's all the same thing, really. The way I see multi-time frame analysis is that you want to have a time frame for direction and a time frame for your entries. So the whole point for multi-time frame analysis is, number one, for confluence. So you're lining up multiple time frames in a certain direction. And number two, to maximize risk to rewards, because if you're trading a daily chart move on the hourly time frame, you'll get a better entry, and obviously your risk reward will be massive. Same thing with the 50-minute, hourly, 5-minute, 30-minute. You get the point. So yeah, if hourly is going to be your directional time frame, you want to be focusing on the structure of the market. Is it making higher highs and higher lows? And you want to be focusing on nice trending structure. You don't want to be looking to do too much. Sometimes structure's a little bit all over the place, a little bit messy. That's the time when to kind of scale down the trades and then back off a little bit. When trending's looking very, very good and everything's crystal clear, that's the time to really get involved in the market. So number one, with your hourly time frame, your goal, your objective is to find out direction. Not necessarily be right, but just to understand direction from a structural point of view. Is the trend up? Is it down? Or is it moving sideways? And then 50-minute time frame is where you want to look for your levels, look for your entry signals, and base your stop loss from it. So, for example, here's a good example on the 4H time frame. So we've got a 4H, structure here. Price is making higher highs and higher lows, as you can see, higher highs and higher lows. And now the market is forming a nice little level there that we're breaking through. Say I scale down to the hourly time frame. I know I take a trade on that candle there. This is the same concept, just with an hourly and a 50-minute chart. And obviously it's 4x4 as well. Hourly divided by 4, get a 15-minute. 4H divided by 4, you get an hour. So take the trade on the confirmation of your hourly time frame, and by that you can maximize your risk to reward rather than waiting for a 4H confirmation and maybe having a half the reward or something like that. So yeah, all you want to be looking for is direction, and then you drop to your 15-minute for your levels and your entry. I wouldn't probably drop to the 5-minute time frame. I think that's a little bit far from the hourly. And with the 5 minute time frame, you probably want to use like the 30 minute as like a little bridge between the hourly and the 5 minute, which takes a little bit more work. And maybe if you're a bit more of a beginner, it's probably best just to stick with hourly and 15 and try not to overcomplicate things. Just focus on 2 time frames before incorporating 3 or 4, something like that. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. What we want to be looking for on the 50-minute chart is just levels of entry, and your stop loss, your entry signal, wherever that is or wherever that may be. But you're just in basically trading the direction and the swing of the hourly time frame. Okay, so 0.99182. Okay, let me go and see. That's your Euro USD. Okay, so 0.99182. Okay, let me go right down. For this one. 0.99182, so that's somewhere around there-ish. Let me actually just leave a line so I actually know what I'm doing here. 0.99182, 0.98817, 9817, 8817, 98817. That's down here. Okay, so that's just below these lows, I assume. So there, and then profit target 1.01793, 1.01. Okay, damn, you're looking for a big move to the upside. I was going lower time frames. I thought you were looking for a bit of a scalp. 1.1, 1.017. Okay, I assume that's back at these highs almost. 793, so that's like here-ish. Okay, well, almost. So yeah, okay, risk to reward looking healthy, looking very, very healthy indeed. Yeah, so yeah, you're asking a lot from the market. Obviously, you got a plan, do it. I'm just going to share my opinion. Trade what you need to trade 100%. I don't wanna talk you out or talk you into do anything. That's not my goal. 100%. So yeah, with Euro USD, it looks good. It looks good in terms of risk to reward. That's looking very, very healthy indeed. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it does make sense. It's just you're asking a lot from the market because there's a lot of structure to break, and we have to find some bullish momentum from somewhere to go against all of that, which could happen. Obviously, it could happen, but there's a lot of obstacles where price could form a lower high and roll over. And based on what the higher time frames are doing, we've got the monthly, we've got the weekly, we've got the daily, we've got the 4H, all displaying bearish momentum and bearish structure. So, you're asking a lot from the market to return back to 1.017. Obviously, I assume you probably would have targets before that, or might secure some partials somewhere or something, trading stop loss. I'm not too sure how you manage your trade, of course, but I assume you probably would have targets before that. If not, you probably want to look into that, because the likely is that price will probably return to your entry, if you do see some upside. So yeah, it does look good in terms of risk rewards. Obviously at a nice location, back at some strong support, nice little psychological level there at 0.99. It's just that you're up against a lot of time frames in terms of the direction of the higher time frames, and there's a lot of friction in the way. So for this trade to play out to those highs, you need to see some real bullish momentum to break through this structure, and then that will give you the trade there. I didn't quite see you subscribe, but much appreciated. There's a lot of areas where price could return and go back to your entry. So that's what I'm saying. Make sure you have multiple areas of targets. 2 or 3 would be nice. But of course, if that's your trade, obviously go through, see it out, and take the trade. But yeah, just a lot of time frames going against you. But in terms of risk reward, it's looking very, very healthy indeed. Uh, do you usually use linear regression channel? Yeah, what is that? Is that like a tool on TradingView? Yeah, I'm not even sure. Yeah, I'm not even sure what that is, to be honest with you. Okay, is it this one? Oh, snap. Cool. Yeah, no, I don't use it. Um, nice, neat little tool there. Draws your channels for you. Interesting. Very interesting. Wow. Yeah, I don't use it. If this is the channel you're talking about. Um, yeah, I mean, I do draw channels in my own trading, but obviously with my own kind of eyes. So I do use channels just to understand the kind of framework the price is trading in. So I do use channels, but I don't use the regression, or I don't know if there's a linear one, because obviously that was diagonal. So yeah, I don't use that. Just discovered it, to be fair. Learning a lot from you, bro. Thanks for your effort. No problem, and just happy to help, man. I mean, that's obviously the goal of the stream, so I'm glad you are. I mean, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. That's great to hear, Anus. That's great to hear. What is your requirement before taking a trade? Well, it depends. I do a lot of analysis on the higher time frame, so I'm always looking to trade in that direction. But to take a trade is pretty simple. It's a candlestick pattern on my level of interest. How I come up with the level, that comes from the strategy and my analysis and my interpretation of the market. But in terms of requirements to take a trade, it's not really complicated at all. I'm just looking for a good candlestick pattern on the hourly time frame at a good level, stop loss below, and that's what I'm trading, really. That is what I'm trading. I'm just trading patterns at the end of the day. Yeah, no problem, DS. Again, at the end of the day, it's just my opinion as well. And it's an opinion when the market can do so many different things and so many unexpected things as well. So, even if my analysis is 100% all the time, I mean, not 100% all the time, but spot on all the time, there'll be times it completely fails as well. So, obviously, trade your plan, trade whatever. Let me have my opinion, you'll have yours, and take your trade. DS, I think going against major trend, it's not really good. It's a bit risky for the long your USD. Again, people look for reversals, trading trend. There's numerous ways to trade the market. You can be bullish in a downtrend and still make money. Obviously, just don't hold the trade as long. And bull and bears can obviously be profitable in a bearish trend, obviously, by taking advantage of the swings. But the key thing is just to know when it's your time to get in the market, know when it's not your time to get in the market, and obviously just managing your trade, really. So, reversals, they happen at the time that people least expect it, when everything's a bloodbath or it's flying to the moon. That's when the reversals happen. So, trading reversals, never really my forte. I'm always I look for continuation of trends, but there's people out there who make all their money from reversals. So again, there's many ways to trade the market. So yeah, if you're looking to trade reversal, go ahead, trade reversal. Just me, I'm happy with my continuations. Wow, cool. Never knew about that tool. Yeah, I didn't know about that tool either. I just found out right now. It's a neat tool, to be fair. Neat tool. I mean, it looks good because obviously I'm drawing in what's already happened. But if I was to draw what hasn't happened yet, like that, so This essentially would be the buy area, I assume, and this up here is the sell area. Take into account that high and this low. Yeah, interesting. I mean, there's a million different tools to use on TradingView. To be fair, you can go experiment and backtest away. Yeah, have a look at the DXY. Think re-entry for gold after confirmation. Yeah, I'll be looking to see if I can re-enter gold. If I can get nice little confirmation there. Stop loss again above the level, and take it back down to lows. So I am looking for that possible re-entry on hourly candle confirmation, and I'll post it in my Telegram if I do get it. But yeah, DXY is still pretty bullish. I mean, it's reacting with that high there, so it's seeing some downside off the back of that. But yeah, with the DXY, it's an interesting one. Everything is still so bullish for it. It's been flying to the upside like no man's business. And it is coming to some key areas up here where I do think it can actually have a nice little reaction from. Basically, it's the kind of the inverse of where I expect Euro USD to react from. So if I go on Euro USD real quick, basically this is the area I'm expecting Euro USD to react from. You can see it's not too far away, and same for the DXY as well. If I do inverse the chart, you can see it's kind of a similar thing in there. This is where I expect price to react from for the DXY. So yeah, they're definitely overextended. You know, one's overbought, one's very oversold. So I do expect the big collapse to come soon-ish, maybe some more upside. But when it does happen, it will happen heavy because, you know, the harder price rises, particularly in Forex anyway, the harder price rises or falls, the bigger the counter reaction to that, really. So when it happens, it's going to happen big time. But as things right now, everything's still pretty bullish. Like I said, I still expect it to get there. So if my analysis is correct, we could still see some more upside for DXY, still see some more downside for Euro USD. We've obviously just broken out this consolidation here. We could be looking at a retest of that area for that one before heading to the upside, something like this. And then maybe we can start to see price start to stall, maybe come back down again, or even blast straight through. You know, if you do see a big global recession and price gets to the highs of that recession, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some chaotic movement. So yeah, DXY still pretty bullish on that. Sat at the highs. Yeah, I could see some downside from that, but nothing that really entertains me. And same thing for Euro USD as well. You know, as you can see by that arrow, where I expect price to go and take out for Euro USD. So yeah, still pretty bearish on those pairs, still bullish on dollar, hence why I'm expecting gold to fall, hence why I'm expecting Euro USD fall, AUD to fall, NZD USD to fall, silver to fall, indices to fall, you know, Ethereum, Bitcoin, oil even. So I'm expecting a lot of these to fall, but again, to time it is a different ball game, you know, because these things can still see a lot of upside first before they do fall. So you know, don't let that upside distract you, or yeah, kind of distract you. So we could still see a lot of upside before we do take those big falls. You know, the timing of the market is difficult, direction not too difficult. You know, you can see when the market's trending down, you can see when the market's trending up, but to time it when it's about to pivot and stuff like that, that's when it comes a little bit tricky. But yeah, in terms of direction, everything is still pretty, you know, clear on the higher time frames for them. So yeah, that's what I'll be looking at. I'll be seeing if I get a re-entry in gold. I'll be keeping the eye on AUD for some sells to take this one back down again. Euro yen, I'll be looking at some buys to take this one back up, but I will be waiting for price to kind of tidy itself up a little bit or retest that level. USD CAD, that one's a little bit gone for me, so I do need some downside for retracement. Pound NZD, hopefully that one can head a little bit higher and sell it back down. After that, and then yeah, not too any other pairs I'm focused on. Those are mainly the pairs I'm looking at. Obviously Eurocad, but this one just needs to set alerts and wait for price to do its thing, really, because in terms of like structure area and everything and candlestick formation, I'm not really too bothered in this area here. Doesn't make any difference to my trading. only when price comes back to an area of values when I'm looking at the charts, looking to see if I can do something. But yeah, Eurocad, just gonna have to wait that one out. So yeah, I haven't actually looked at pound USD on the stream yet. Actually, no, I did, but on the higher time frames. So yeah, I'll jump onto pound USD. We are coming to the end of the stream, guys, so please be sure to leave a like if you have enjoyed the stream and found it useful, of course. And obviously I will be live again tomorrow as well, so I hope to see you then. I will kind of leave the stream running a little bit longer just so we can see what happens with the pound news, because obviously that'll be the talk of the town tomorrow. But yeah, pound USD still pretty bearish. It's going to map out that COVID low. There we go. Okay, so yeah, pound USD is still pretty bearish. There's nothing really to do at these lows here. These are fresh lows, haven't been for a very, very long time. There's not a lot of structure for us to use apart from the structure that price has printed over the past few days. This is all the information we can use. And naturally speaking, if we're going to go off that, still expect the market to fall. I do expect us to have a major correction soon, especially if these COVID lows being liquidated and taken out. But yeah, it's up to the market if it wants to do that or not, of course. It's all about reacting. If the market does have a big move to the upside, cool, looking to short that back down again. But yeah, pound USD for me, still bearish bias. Long, yeah, fair play if you're long. I mean, there's not a lot to go with. We have just about, we've come into the area of 1.13. So psychological level, pound USD does react very, very well to psychological levels. That I do have to give props to pound USD for that. But yeah, there's nothing really here to work with, after taking out those lows, apart from the psychological levels and candlesticks, really. So yeah, I mean, again, I'm not going to say not take a trade, because any trade has the possibility of being a winner, even if you don't analyze the chart and you just do it closed eyes. The market, it fluctuates. You can make money either direction. But in terms of just my analysis and my opinion and my type of trading style, there's just nothing really to go by over here. Not saying that we can't see some upside. In fact, I am expecting pound USD to see some upside for retracement. So I do think it can go up. It's just that I'm not really willing to trade that upside move. If that makes sense, just because there's nothing to go with. We've clearly broken through the support. That's now time resistance. That could even send us down some further. So if you are on the buys there, do be aware that you are really up against it. So if you do see some nice profit, do be looking to take those partials very, very quickly and take your profit quickly than if you were trading the direction of momentum of the higher time frame. So yeah, be sure to take your profit early. Not necessarily close the trade early, but take some partials early. Just to counteract any downside price could see. But yeah, there's not a lot to work with here. If price was to get back above this area, then at least you've got something to work with there. You've got a nice little fake out here potentially, a retest of that structure. You could probably see some nice upside based on that pattern. Needed to retrace to 1.37 and I will be in profit. Oh, okay, so you're currently in a buy. Where is 1.37? Here. Okay, so you're in a buy from this support. Okay, I thought you got into a buy down here. That makes a lot more sense. So obviously you bought from 1.37 and then price is broken through the support. Okay, it makes sense. So yeah, you need price to get back above. Yeah, it's a sticky one because price may or may not get back above. It just depends what it does at this level. If it can get above, if it can test the level, if it can do this and just test the level, I'll close the trade. Don't necessarily look to be back in profit because obviously you haven't traded with a stop loss. If you have, then it's a pretty loose stop loss because if you did, this kind of would have definitely taken out your trade. So yeah, things could get worse. Obviously, price continues its trend. And we want to be protecting our capital rather than try and make the most of it, really. So If it does get back to here, I would say just close the trade and look to re-enter if it gets back above, and then take that trade rather than hoping that it turns to a winner, and it will help with the stress and everything. So yeah, go out from there. So yeah, I'll recommend just go out if it retests the level. If it retests the level, go out from there. Don't try and push it too far, because it could get you get your hopes up, kiss the level, and return back down again. And it can go from bad to worse. So I would recommend exiting at that level, and then looking to re-enter if you can get back above, rather than try and see the whole trade go into profit. But hopefully that made sense. We have come up to the end of the stream, ladies and gentlemen, so I hope you have found the stream useful and enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to leave a like on the stream, subscribe if you haven't done already, join my Telegram if you want to see my setups, my watch list, my videos that I post. All of that will be in the Telegram group chat. It's not really a group chat, but I do have one, but it's I just share my content there, so feel free to check that out if you want to. Links in the description to that, and yeah, check out the IC Markets broker if you are looking for a broker. Feel free to follow the affiliate link if you want to. But yeah, guys, have a fantastic day. Again, we do have some pound news tomorrow, so we'll see what's happening with that tomorrow on the stream, so I hope you all are there. But yeah, guys, have a great day. No problem much, happy to help. Hussein, no problem to help. Tony, no problem, happy to help. Yeah, hope you guys have a fantastic day. And yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow.